Hello, friends, and welcome to the Handyman Success Podcast, where our mission is to teach and inspire using the stories and experiences of our guests, as well as discussions on various topics like pricing, marketing, and more. My name is Jason Call, owner of Handyman Marketing Pros, and I'm joined by my co-host, Alan Lee, owner of Honestly Handyman Services and the Handyman Journey Business Coaching. You can learn more about the services we provide to the handyman industry at handymansuccess.net. Whether you're sitting in the office, patching some drywall, or making your third run to the hardware store, we invite you to pull up a chair and join us on another episode of the Handyman Success Podcast. So looking at like your focus services, man, what's kind of your bread and butter jobs? Like what is that job that comes in and you're just like, oh yes, like whether you enjoy it, it's super profitable, kind of breaking down those like top 3 to 5 maybe, like what's your kind of bread and butter jobs that you really love to do, whether it's enjoyment or profit?
Yeah, so one thing that I've kind of learned for myself is there's really three ways you get a call as a handyman, I feel like. So I call them the three Ds. So it's dangerous, dirty, and difficult. So that's really what drives business for us. People don't want to be on the roof. People don't want to go up in the attic. They don't want to touch electrical. They don't want to flood their house. I could keep going on and on. So basically, I would say my bread and butter is typically mounting, whether it's a TV or a mirror or a grab bar. I do a lot of mounting projects. I'd say that could easily be 40 to 50% of just what I do on like a weekly basis. As far as the jobs I like to do, funny enough, I actually like doing furniture assembly quite a bit. So I just kind of feel like as long as the instructions are good, I kind of enjoy it almost, especially if it's not like 8 hours worth. If I can just go do like a half day and put together some different furniture, like I actually do like that quite a bit. I also like doing like security related stuff. So whether it's ring doorbells, security cameras, I've been getting quite a bit more requests for that. I just helped a guy. I think he wired like 10 of them at his house. He was literally turning it into like Fort Knox. It was actually pretty cool. Um, so I've gotten better at that, and so I love like all the little security stuff. I like electrical, especially if it's basic ceiling fan, converting to a smart switch, just adding stuff in the backyard. They want to have an outlet back there and there's already like a power supply. It's just basic stuff that I know I can do and it's not going to be unsafe. I love those kinds of jobs. And then I would like to get more into like the more maintenance stuff. So like the gutter cleaning, the dryer vent cleaning, like I don't really ever get calls for those. So that's actually something I want to start doing more and I want to start selling more. So I took Jason's advice for the postcard, the flyer postcard, and I have my focus services on there. So I'm going to get those printed out. And I'm going to start. I want to have like some more repeat business on the maintenance side. That's one thing I'm kind of lacking, I feel like.
Awesome. Yeah. And I know we talked the other week and it's like, well, when someone wants to get certain jobs or promote maintenance plans or whatever, it's like, okay, well, what are you doing right now to communicate that? And it's like, well, nothing. So, start with like a basic postcard flyer. Like I'm a huge flyer dude. Like have your focus services. If you want a really big focus in a maintenance program, create a little postcard that talks about that and the value of it and what's included and how much it costs. Maybe if you got some monthly thing going. So anyway, I commend you, Jason, for just knowing you a little bit deeper. Is like just the action of like just hearing stuff and just being like, all right, I'm going to do that. And then you just kind of get on the ball and do it. It's an attribute that any successful business owner has. There's this motto that Alan and I love to use. Shout out to our coach, Michael Oakes, is ready, shoot, aim. So not ready, aim, shoot, ready, shoot, aim. So just get it as ready as possible, launch the dang thing, and then make your adjustments. And so I just commend you for being quick to take action and put stuff out there, and then you can adjust later. One couple highlights here for our listeners is the smart home installation things that you're doing with security cameras, the attachment with the lights, ring doorbells. Those are really I think, a great handyman niche that your ideal clients would love to have, that a lot of people just aren't communicating. Also, the direct value, they get value from that every single day, that Ring doorbell. And so they're just tying that value to your service. And I think it's a premium handyman service that could be offered more on the technology handyman side. And also, conversations we had a lot more lately is not assisted living, but the aging in place senior
Mhm.
handyman services. Have you done anything like in that realm of like any kind of like 55 plus neighborhoods or grab bars, or had any kind of focus on that yet?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny you say that. I actually just recently got well, actually, two scenarios come to mind. I got an elderly client who's in my town. She's maybe 5 or 10 minutes away, and she's been calling me like weekly since I showed up the first time. It's great because it's like she needs the help, and I want to give her good value at a good price, and so she now I feel like now she only calls me, which is great. And so I did a couple grab bars for her. I helped set up like a Google Mesh for her, just like basic stuff. I think I mounted a couple TVs, so like nothing too crazy, but like she's definitely called me like 3 or 4 times in the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 weeks. It's been pretty cool. And then another scenario is there's a mobile home park, maybe 25-30 minutes from here. It's in Newbury Park, and I got one client from there when I first started. She just needed like a drywall patch, which was kind of random, but I did it. And she put one of my early day flyers up at like the pool area. And I think I've got maybe 3 or 4 jobs from that flyer. And it was a terrible flyer, but it's like if you just get put in front of people, sometimes that's good enough. And for that scenario, it was. And so I did like a couple security cameras there, fixed a handrail. So I'm kind of tied to like two clients, if you will, or like one community and one repeat client. But that's about it. I haven't really thought about like marketing to like specific communities, but I do like that.
Mhm.
That's awesome. I
Yeah,
love
that
that.
aging in place. One thing that we've actually learned from conversations with folks is, just not being an expert in the industry is for the elderly is lighting. So if you love electrical, a huge need for like elderly populations with the grab bars, a shower tub conversions, things like that, but they don't have sufficient lighting in their home. I forget the percentage that was tossed around at us, someone we interviewed the other month that was like an enormous percentage of elderly population that want to stay in their home longer. Uh,
Hmm.
their home is not well lit at night, and that's when a lot of accidents happen. And so, to increase someone's safety, their longevity in their home, these aging in place services like grab bars, like better lighting in their house, it seems to maybe align with, especially you enjoy electrical and things of that nature. So anyway, just something to toss out to you and to our listeners, because these niches within the handyman space, it's good to kind of hit those in your marketing and your flyers, etc., to kind of bring to light something that someone didn't think about or know that you even did.
Hey, let me interrupt this episode real quick. I want to talk to handymen out there who are just pulling their hair out because there's so much stuff to do in this handyman business. Running a business is already tough enough, and your software shouldn't make it harder to run. So I want to introduce you to the Handyman Champion CRM app. It's designed specifically for handyman, not plumbers, not roofers, but handymen. With it, you can schedule jobs, you can create estimates, you can create invoices, you can get paid right on the spot, and keep everything in one simple app. So stop piecing together random tools and start getting the app that's built for you. You can grab your free 30-day trial at handymanchampion.com.
Yeah, I love that.
Great.
Hey, Jason, I'd love to talk a little bit about business efficiency because as you start up this business, like it all sounds great, right? It's like, yeah, yes, I can go into business for myself. I got tools, I got a truck, I can put a shirt on and I can go do some work, and I can make some money. But then, at least for me, you start realizing that like, man, there's a whole lot to this business side of the handyman business thing. Like you're literally wearing all the hats, right? You're the dude who answers the phone. You're the dude who hammers in the siding. You're the dude who patches the drywall. You're the dude who does the estimates, sends the invoices and all that. Like, is there anything that you do in your business operationally to like make your business more efficient? Like, is there anything that you found over this last year that like, or are you completely lost like I was. Like, how's that looking for you right now?
I mean, it's such a great time to be a business owner or to like get into the handyman space because of like all the tech that's available. For me, I definitely made the mistake of waiting even what I feel like was a little too long to kind of embrace that. So I just recently got Jobber, I want to say maybe 3, 4 months ago, and complete game changer. I mean, like
Mm,
worth every penny. The only thing that I did initially that I would not do again was the guy kind of sold me into the higher plan. So after about 3 weeks, I actually downgraded to the most basic plan, which I want to say is around $30 or $40 a month.
okay.
And even that basic plan is just an absolute game changer. I can get out 3 or 4 estimates in like 20 minutes. Like in some cases, if they're like really easy, straightforward ones. So I would say that's like a huge efficiency. And then also they allow for the payment collecting feature on there. So like you're not having to like mess around with like how am I getting paid? When am I getting paid? Like so what I tend to do now, which creates I feel like a lot of efficiency, is as soon as the job's done, I'll just tell them like, hey, like how did you want to pay today? And they'll be like, oh, well, what's easy? Like, and I'll just tell them it's what's easiest for you. I was like, you already paid a deposit. I can charge that card, or if you want to do something else, Zelle, check, cash, and I'll kind of make that like give them the option. And a lot of times they're just like, oh yeah, if you could just charge the card. So I like that personally because I hate my number one pet peeve of being a business owner is having to go hunt down your money. So
Yeah.
I absolutely, I've actually lost a couple clients because of it, because they've just been like so, it's been like so casual of like, oh, you'll get paid whenever you get paid. It's like, yeah.
Right.
So I actually have in my estimates, or not even my estimates, but I guess, yeah, my estimates and my invoices where it says like payment is due as soon as the job's done. So like, there's
Mhm.
no confusion of like, oh, I thought I could pay you next week. So that's a huge efficiency because with Jobber, as soon as you charge that card, it's in there within like 2 days. So like you
Yeah.
do lose a little bit of money. I think it's like 3%. So like as long as you're priced accordingly to kind of look at that as like an additional cost of doing business, it's total game changer because I'm not having to waste time with checks or getting a fake bill, and now you're dealing with a fake bill. So those are like some little things that I would say have like just been night and day difference for me. Another thing I've done, which is kind of like maybe a little bit off topic, but for me has been like also kind of a game changer, was I don't have a vehicle. So, or I don't have a dedicated work truck van. Like I would love to get one, but I have a mid-sized SUV. So what I've been evolving is I took out the middle seats. I got some plywood down, and I got all my pack outs just stacked up in there. And so
Nice.
they're
Okay.
not flying around like they were when I first started. And so I also kind of followed the bulletproof handyman with like kits. So I have like one pack out with like all my drill bits, another pack out with like all electrical, another one with all my corded tools, and so on and so forth. And so the only unfortunate thing is every day I have to unload all that. So I'm losing about 10 minutes a day loading and then another 10 minutes unloading. So it's a little bit of a time waste, but there's also, I don't want to, have any of my stuff stolen. So for me, it's worth losing 20 minutes a day, and it's very efficient because like I know where every single thing is. So like there's no time wasted of like, where's this tool? Where's this material? So those are like two main efficiencies that I would say that have been like kind of game changers for me, is just like being organized on like the tool and material side, and then on the technology side with scheduling, estimating, invoicing, and payments. Jobber, it's just amazing. I mean, I can't even believe I waited that long. Actually, I kind of feel stupid for waiting that long.
Well, you went quicker than me. I mean, for me, like I talked about a couple months ago, when we launched in the podcast, I think it's September 1st, that's going to be coming out. And I talked about how when I first started out, my invoicing estimating, was like all Google Docs, and I created everything on Google Docs. And it was a nightmare because I'd have to print it out, bring it to the client, and then payment was just absolutely ridiculous. So yeah, getting a CRM of any kind, like, really just takes you to the whole next level, because it's a professional invoice estimate. But then it's also the whole payment processing platform of all of that is just fantastic, and you get paid right away. And then not to mention like the CRM capabilities of it, where you can actually, reach back out to those people, send them text blasts, email blasts, voicemail blasts, whatever you want to do. It is a game changer. So I agree with you. I think that that's an awesome thing that anyone can do, for that. And if you guys don't know that you're listening, we just launched a new CRM app called Handyman Champion. So check that out if you guys are at all interested in the CRM game. We can tell you a little bit more about what's offered into there. But I think that's great. I think those are some awesome efficiencies. That's something that's really like near and dear to my heart, Jason, is business efficiency. Like I love helping people kind of wrap their brain around like how can you stop wearing all the hats and like just wear one hat that you actually enjoy doing? Because oftentimes we start up this business because we enjoy doing handyman work, or we enjoy taking care of people, or or whatever it is. We enjoy managing people, whatever it is. But we get into this and then we slowly realize that like there's a lot more to it than just fixing things. There's a whole business side of it. So in this day and age, like you said, all this tech that's available, like there's a lot of things that we can implement in our business to make it more efficient, which is pretty exciting.
Yeah. I mean, if your goal is to shoot for like, say like $600-800 a day, and it takes you 8 hours to do it, but you apply some of these efficiencies, a CRM, et cetera, and you can do that same $800, but do rather than 8 hours, it takes you 7 hours. I mean, that just compounds over time. So thanks for sharing that, man. I wish we had another hour, man. Just hanging out with a friend here, dude. It's been a great time. So let's a couple other topics I want to hit on. If you don't mind, man, let's break down like what does your marketing journey look like? I know it looked very different than when you just started with your disgraceful flyer at the mobile home park or whatever. And that's where like maybe you didn't use the word disgraceful. I don't know where that came from. I think every business owner has done many disgraceful marketing efforts and flyers and things. So ready, shoot, aim, brother. So I commend you for just getting that thing out there on the Word doc or whatever. But walk us through like, how did you kind of walk through a little bit how you marketed your business? Like, how's your marketing evolved? What are you doing now? Like, where are most of your clients coming from? If you could kind of walk our listeners through that.
Yeah, so initially I took Alan's advice. I was doing a lot of like Yelp ads. I did Nextdoor ads. I did Google. I didn't do the local service ads because I didn't even know about that. So I did Google ads. So honestly, it was kind of a hot mess in the beginning because what I was basically doing was I was just throwing money at all these different avenues without really tracking to a high level what was coming in from where. So I was getting calls, and periodically it would be like, oh, here's a Yelp lead. And so I knew that I paid for that and I got that job because of Yelp. So Yelp does a pretty good job with that. Nextdoor is a little harder to track unless they tell you. And I do try to ask, but for the most part, it doesn't come up till the job is done because I don't want to like get in the way of like, hey, how'd you find me? It's like, hey, what can I help you with? And then once the job's done, hey, by the way, how'd you find me? So that's kind of what I started with was those three avenues, and I would just kind of throw, $200 to $400 a month between those three. Sometimes it would be just two of them. Sometimes it would be one of them. Sometimes it'd be all three. So honestly, it was like everything else I said, not a very good system in the beginning, but it worked because I did get a good amount of business. I just don't know where everything came from. So fast forward to about the last 3 to 4 months, I got rid of all my ads. So I actually signed up with the Handyman Marketing Pros. I wanted to see what that would do for me. And I obviously already knew it was going to be a game changer just from the website I was working with to what, you guys would be able to produce for me. And it's truly just remarkable, the difference in the website. And I also, from not having ads for 3 months into still, so I don't know if I shared this, but last month was my biggest month and biggest month in top line and biggest month in profit. And that was without any ads. So for me, it was kind of like very eye-opening that, I haven't run any ads for a while. So like the SEO is probably working, the referrals are working, the repeat business is working. So definitely that's where I'm at now. Now, I will say I am looking at trying to get back on to some ads. I'm gonna probably try the local service ads exclusively. I want to see how that works. I just clicked the submit the background check yesterday. I don't know how long it's going to take, but I do want to give that a shot just to kind of play around with it. But I've actually been pretty busy without any ads, but I am looking to get licensed hopefully soon, maybe next year or as soon as possible, really. So that's kind of where I'm at with the marketing. But yeah, I'm not really doing any ads right now whatsoever. I do have some magnets that I just got that are a little bit nicer than some of the previous versions. Those do help, especially like I've had like several neighbors call me. So like it definitely helps, but I think the website is like the biggest thing, and just getting the reviews too. Having a review strategy, I haven't talked about that at all, but I'll just briefly say knowing when to ask for a review and when not to ask for a review is like, that's like probably the best advice I could give.
That's good. And
Awesome.
I would say I love that you brought that up, Jason, because I've talked to thousands of handymen, and I would say the number one differentiator between handymen that like make it and handymen that just like quit and go back to their day job or whatever would be signing up with Jason at Handyman Marketing Pros. Like, and I don't mean that as like a sales tactic. Like, it's an honest thing because like there's so much value that an actual like SEO optimized website will do for your business that like I love that you didn't pay for ads, but you had your best month ever. Like I would say there's no doubt because of the website. The website has helped you launch that. So as long as you have a good optimized Google business profile, a good optimized website, and Handyman Marketing Pros does a fantastic job at those. I would say that's probably the one big differentiator. So I want to say that that's pretty awesome, and I've seen that from many different people. And just for like looking at our business, like we have a much bigger business and like we've been around a lot longer, but we do all SEO, or we do all Google local service ads. So we don't advertise in Yelp anymore or Nextdoor or anything like that. But obviously my business is a little bit different than yours, but I know that Google, local service ads, there's a lot of value to be had in that for sure.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate the kind words, guys. I feel blessed to do what we get to do. But this is not about me. Jason, thanks for that like feedback, man, and kind of walking through that journey. That Google business profile. I mean, we're beat a dead horse in this podcast, or I talk about this all the time, but building reviews, building up a reputation, having a stable place where people can verify your reputation, your services, who you are. They can see your friendly face. You got a nice mustache in that photo on the site. I mean, just really appealing professional local handyman option. Don't overthink it. Like marketing is simply put like building a strong reputation. Google is a great platform to build that on. So when you're looking at paid ads, local service ads for anyone out there, it's the best paid ads channel online. Like when I see paid ads, I mean rather than Angie's List, Thumbtack, Yelp, etc. Local service ads from Google. Like the lead quality is much higher. It's really easy to track your cost per lead. In your case, Jason, I would say definitely go through the process to get verified, get the Google guaranteed, so you have a lever to pull. Because the slow season, we're recording this August 29th here. So their slow season's real, in that around Thanksgiving through January, February, things naturally slow down. People get busy. Family comes in. You got Christmas presents. You got the credit card bills that hit in January. Then the tax returns come in and it's like gravy. So and things pick up in March. So anyway, there is this regular cycle that happens. So perhaps something to consider around that November time. Really give that lever a pull for local service ads if you need a bump. But you cannot understate the importance of all these other things you're doing with the magnets, the flyers, providing great quality service. Give people every single potential option to call you back or to refer you through print marketing, Google reviews, website, etc. So the last thing I'll point out that you said is that you got new magnets that were better than the old ones.
Hmm.
Do that. I love that. Like, just
Yes.
do something, but then make it better next time. Like, just don't overthink like the flyer. Like, oh, I don't know. I don't have a nice photo here. I'm not sure about my focus services. Who just launch something and make it better next time. So I commend you for that kind of mindset there, man.
100%.
Yep. Just keep leveling up every single time. So Jason, I would love to, like, as we close here, I'd love to hear some parting advice that you would have to prospective or new handyman business owners out there that might be listening. Like, what I know you've given them a lot of advice in this already, but like, if you had to give them one piece of advice or two pieces of advice, what would that be?
Yeah, that's such a good question, or a good thing to look at. So I would say most people who are like even considering or contemplating doing this, they're so focused on like, oh, I don't have a good truck or a good van, or I don't have a wrap on my vehicle, so like, I'm gonna fail basically. So they're focused on like the wrong things. So I would say don't worry about what you drive, don't worry about the wrap. If you're gonna be a good business, like that's all gonna come later. Those will be good investments into the business later on once you've proven to be profitable. That's number one. Number two, uh, as soon as you have the cash flow or the capital, get a CRM and get a website, which I know everyone on your podcast says the same thing. It's like beating a dead horse, but it is true. It is 100% true. And then I'd say lastly, don't buy too many tools in the beginning. I think people get tool fever. Um, you know, just get the basics, obviously, like figure out what it is that you want to do, what are you good at. So for me, like I started out with very little. I picked up like a DeWalt set from Home Depot, I think during like Black Friday, and that's got me so far. Um, so yeah, I would just say like, just stick to the basics. Just try to focus on getting pricing in order, get some basic tools in order, use your vehicle that you have. And then also, I guess the last thing I'll say is get the protection in place. So get either like an LLC formed, sole proprietor, do something on the business side of it, and then on the insurance side as well, get like your policy in order. So that way you're differentiating yourself. You're not just responding to a next door post saying like, hey, call me. You can say like, hey, this is my business, I'm insured, come look at my reviews. I'm not just some guy trying to show up and help you.
Awesome, man. I want to piggyback on what you just said there at the LLC. If anyone wants to do this, you need to get that protection. Also,
Hmm.
it's required for Google to get a Google profile to start building reviews. Like, if you're just going to try it out for a few months, just frankly, like, I don't know, just maybe try Thumbtack for a bit. But like, I don't know. I just think that you really need to commit to be like, I'd love to be able to do this part time. And in 12 months, I'd love to be weekends, evenings booked out and then have the option to go full time. So I love that advice with protection. I know we got to jam, but I got to ask one more question, man, because we got to have you back on in like a year or so to check in with you because it's just been an awesome conversation. What is your goal? Like, are you like in this phase, like this next year, are you trying to optimize your owner operator setup? Or do you want to hire somebody? Are you even thinking about that right now? Like, what's kind of your mindset right now over the next 1 to 2 years?
So I'll try to make this quick. I am really trying to look at the legal side and the logistics side of hiring. So I've got some mixed information. Um, so I have called the CSLB. I think I am gonna actually call them again. I think I want to talk to someone there who's like maybe a manager level because I really need to get some things clarified because my primary goal right now is to basically do what Alan's done and just run a successful business. Because right now, I'm not ashamed to admit that I own my job and I'd like to own a business. And so my goal is to hire people, but I think my next immediate goal is I'm going to work on getting the B2 license. So that way, I think what that will do for me is it'll do several things. It's gonna basically show a different level of professionalism for one. For two, it's going to allow for any size job. So like whether it's $1,000 or $5,000, I don't have to worry about, hey, is this a sting operation or are they going to, call the authorities on me? Because like being a former cop, it's like I always want to be doing things 100%. Um, so the licensing is going to be number one. I got to figure out. I know it takes a while to get enough uh, experience, skills, that kind of thing. I think I have enough, but I gotta talk to someone over there, and then just hiring, just figuring out the hiring journey. Like, am I going to get on Indeed? Am I going to just, next door? How am I going to get people who would want to work here? Like, that's going to be difficult. So I think having that license
Mhm.
will also help, not just on a legal side, because I have been reading some different things of like, you know, I can't even sub out people, I found out, or at least I was reading. These are the things I want to get more clarity on, because I would love to have some people who I could count on and support their families as well.
Hmm.
Yeah, Jason, I'd love to chat with you because I've talked to a lot of people about this exact same thing. You can set up a call with me. Go to my website handymanjourney.com and set up a call with me. I've been to the CSLB. I've taken courses with them to try and understand this handyman law, and it is extremely hard to navigate it. There's so much gray area in it, but I'd love to share with you some of my thoughts and how I feel about the whole situation. But I'm an open book, so yeah, let's set something like that up. But navigating the state law is definitely very important, no matter what state you're in. We happen to be in California, so that one's a little bit trickier, but there's different handyman laws depending on where you're at. So you're going to want to make sure that you are, up to date on all of that kind of stuff.
Yep.
100%. I'm going to set that up with you, Alan.
Awesome. Well, Jason, thanks so much for joining us, man. I'm excited. I'm sure we'll check in. I mean, this would be a great revisit. We're starting to do those now with past guests because we've been doing this now for over 4 years. I can't believe that.
Crazy.
So we are here to help and support you, man. Thank you so much for taking the time. I know you blocked time of you got some job maybe this afternoon, but thank you so much for blocking the time on a Friday to hang out with us and share your story with our guests. Really, really appreciate that, man. It means a lot.
My pleasure. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for everything you've done.
Yep. Take care, brother.
All right, friends, that's a wrap of today's episode of the Handyman Success Podcast. And I want to thank you so much for being here, but I want to encourage you, don't let the growth stop right here. I want to encourage you to dive deeper into our handyman ecosphere. We host free live webinars and live videos every single month, and these are jam-packed with strategies that can help you grow and excel to the next level in your business. And join us on our private Facebook page where there's thousands of other handyman just like you that have similar struggles that are talking about how to grow and how to be a better person and have a better business. So for resources, training, and all of that, all in the same place, check us out at handymansuccess.net. You can get links to all of that information down in the comments section below. And that's it for today. Until next time, keep being an awesome person and keep pushing yourself to the next level.